1% of dudes rapping, they ain't nice as me. 98% ain't live the same type of life as me. The judge gave me life and then they sent me where the life is be. That level 4 with depth and vice, the type of stuff they like to see. Two choices, fight or flee. I refuse to die a chump. I never been a mark, but damn, it's scary when that riot jump. I seen dudes cry, get pumped, and some sexually brutalized. Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5 year-long racial fights when homie all you do is ride. Lonely days and nights up in a hole causing suicide. From the moment you arrive, you see the Mexican mafia, AB skinheads with big giant swastikas, pro-black philosophers, the BGF, the Kumi, and Muslims who will murk you from the nation to the Sunni. That MS was loony, quick to ride up on they rival. Even Christians went to church, hide knives up in a Bible. Political and tribal, the Crips and Damus, the Long Beach, the Hubs and the Dubs and the Grooves, the IE, the Bakersfield, the Dago Pyrus, the Hustlers quick to roll, the gangsters don't move. Whatever click you choose.
Say what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to Life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. Yard down! Now, for those of y'all that's new to my page, in 1994, I got arrested. I was eventually sentenced to 16 years plus life. I ended up serving 24 years straight in the California prison system. Yeah, that's me gassing on the intro. Like I keep telling y'all, the flow is nothing like Curtis Blow. That intro song is finally available. I got both versions on a 10-song EP. Right now, it's only available on CD only. Yeah, I said it, CD only, man. If you want to get it, tap in with me at 16tolifemusic@gmail.com. That's my email. Or you can hit me up on my Instagram at 16DALIFE. Cash at me $20 and I'm going to get it to you. A lot of people like to clown and say CDs don't sell. But I'm going to tell you from experience, I know it's a gang of people out there that still got CD players. This thing right here was full. And we about halfway through, man. So I sincerely appreciate everybody that's been rocking with me, supporting my music on CD. Now let's get right to it, man. So right here, this is the video right here, man, where we're gonna have to do a little bit of thinking, man, and we're gonna have to put our intellectual hats on, man, and get down to it, right? So there's a video going around on YouTube, and name of that channel is called Rodney in LA. So recently he uploaded a video with a gang known as El Monte Flores. And during the course of that interview, you had a few of the members, or at least one, say that they are NK, basically, which means that they are black killers. And so let me show you a small portion of that interview right now.
So how is it growing up in like the SGV compared to like LA or something like that?
I mean, I can say more different. We don't use the N-word around here. We strict Ross side. We don't use, SA, rest of this. We don't use the N-word, Yeah.
So I just showed you a small clip where one member of the gang said that they don't use the N-word. So now when I saw that, I'm thinking, okay, that's cool. If they prefer to stick with, I guess we can say the traditional Mexican gang banging culture, that's cool, and in the course of being in a gang, sometimes gangs will happen, of course, to beef with other gangs who are in close proximity. Now, to my understanding, there's not even a whole lot of black gangs out there, right? So I don't necessarily know how they even got on the terms of being NK, which is, of course, is a derogatory term for saying that they are killers of black people. Dissing, or the art of dissing, is something that's deeply rooted in the California gang banging culture, right? So let's just say you happen to be from a gang that's called Walnut Manor Boys, right? Now, people who are beefing with those dudes or considered ops of the Walnut Manor Boys may disrespect the Walnut Manor Boys by calling them Walmart girls. So that's something that's a very old tradition in the California gang banging culture, taking phrases that's similar, or words that's similar, or letters that's similar to the opposing gang and use it to be disrespectful. For another example, say you have a gang and they represent Potter Street. You may have another gang refer to them in a disrespectful fashion as popsicles. Now, unfortunately, also something else that heavily influences the California gang banging culture is prison politics. So unfortunately, at times also, the racial politics that go on in the California prisons can also make their way back to the streets and influence what's going on out there in some gangs. So, of course, in the California prisons, if you happen to have two different individuals who are from different races get into it, it's not just going to stay between those two dudes. It's going to involve the whole entire race from each collective that those dudes represent, right? And so, of course, then when people in prison tend to be disrespectful towards other people, now it's not necessarily just a particular group. Now it may be involving the whole entire race. Now, if we're going to keep it 100 right, many of us who have been to prison and many of us who have not been to prison have said things that are disrespectful based on stereotypes. But that doesn't necessarily mean the person who's saying these things is racist, right? Many times in prison, I've definitely heard black people say things that are disrespectful based on stereotypes, as I'm sure other people have, right? In prison or on the streets, you may have an incident between Mexicans and blacks, and you may hear a black dude say, hey, man, yeah, we just got into it with them burrito eaters. You might hear a Mexican dude say, hey, man, we just got into it with them watermelon lovers. Then the very next day or 2 or 3 days later, you may have the person who said that disrespectful comment based on racial stereotypes talking to a black dude or talking to a Mexican, in a friendly manner. So just because a person says something that's disrespectful based on stereotypes doesn't make him racist. If you have a Mexican gang that just so happens to not get along with Bloods or Crips, then of course there's obviously a way that they can express that, right? Without necessarily being disrespectful toward a whole entire race. Keeping it 100 as I always do. Anybody that knows anything about the California gangbanging politics knows at times there have been black gangs that don't get along with Bloods or Crips, and they call themselves BKCK. But when you clearly have no shame by announcing on a video that you know what's going on social media that you're NK, and if that's the way that anybody feels about the entire black race, then keeping it 100, what can I really do about it, right? But my question is, if that's the way you feel about the black race, then why embrace or emulate any part of the black culture, right? I don't understand how anyone can say that they are haters of a certain race and then do anything that was created, started, and made popular by that particular race, right? Real quick, case in point. Now, in my opinion, and this is just my definition of a true racist, right? I happen to see a video about this white lady who unknowingly hired some black people to cut her grass, even though the man said his face was on the ad. But once they came over there and started to work and cut her grass, once she looked outside and noticed that they were black, she went outside and demanded that they stop. So in my opinion, she was standing on her principles and her beliefs and obviously hating black people. Let me show you a small clip of that video.
She didn't want black people to mow her yard, y'all. She didn't know that she was hiring black people. My picture and everything is on the app. She didn't know she was hiring black people. I'll stay here and wait for them. I'm recording as well. Her name is Janice Gunnell. She didn't know that she was hiring black people to come do her yard. We already started. Look how much we've cut already. We've already started. Did the whole left side of damn near the house. She didn't know she didn't know that she was, look at her trying to get my license plate. I already got it. Yeah, you call me a boy, right? This is wild behavior. She didn't know she was hiring black people to come cut her grass, so she threw a fit. She threw a fit.
Now, you remember earlier in the video where I showed you a small portion of the Mexican gang member from that gang saying that they don't use the N-word? Well, apparently his homeboy didn't get the memo. Let me show you a longer portion of that video.
How is it growing up in like the SGV compared to like LA or something like that?
I mean, like I said, more different. We don't use the N-word around here. We restrict raw side. We don't use, SA, this. We don't use the N-word,
Hey y'all, I know there's gonna be a lot of people in the comments. Y'all ready for the comments, y'all?
Man, we don't really worry too much about what they're about to say. Man, we don't acknowledge them. Man, we don't acknowledge them. Man, we don't acknowledge them.
Uh-oh, he changed up. You clearly heard him say, we don't acknowledge them niggas. So to me, it's definitely puzzling and baffling how an individual can claim to be a killer of a person simply because he's from a certain race. But then on the other hand, you'll turn around and you'll embrace certain components specifically created and attributed to the same group that you claim to be a killer of. To me, it makes no sense. Once again, listen to what a member of that gang says about using the N-word.
Like Cholo saying the N-word and everything like that.
I mean, nah, low key, that's not LA food. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's like, I wouldn't want a black saying, what's up, what's up, keep your lingo, we keep our lingo.
We don't use the N-word,
Man, we don't acknowledge that.
Through this whole entire interview, they're walking around and this rap music playing in the background. So it's obvious that somebody in that particular group has a radio and they're bumping rap music. I don't even think that I have to point this out, right? But that's just stupid and dumb as hell. That would be just like me coming on here saying that I hate Mexicans, but then I'm part of a mariachi band and I'm sitting here eating a taco, but I'm doing certain things that have been created and popularized by Mexicans. Now, throughout that video, there's a member of that gang in the video with a football jersey on that says Jackson. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I ain't never heard of Juan Jackson. I ain't never heard of Hector Jackson. So once again, if you're willing to join a gang that will declare itself and take pride in being a killer of blacks, why would you have a football jersey or any other type of clothing that promotes a black person? To me, it just makes no sense, right? Last but not least, also in the video, I happened to spot a dude, a member of that gang apparently, who was wearing some clothing made by Desto Dubs. I'm going to show you guys a picture of Desto Dubs. And the clothing line that this black man created that's an awful lot of cough syrup. So to me, it seems these dudes are genuinely confused, misled, misinformed, and really don't know what the hell they're doing. Like a whole lot of other gang members. Do you want to hate us or do you want to love us? I mean, pick a side and ride, you know. You can't claim to hate black people and you a killer of black people, but then you turn around and your whole closet is full of black clothing. You emulating the black culture. You rapping. You doing things that are created by black people.
Got the awful lot of cough syrup on.
And for that little young dude who slipped up and said the word nigga,
We don't use the N-word, you know?
Yeah, man, we don't acknowledge them.
I hope your homies don't see this and DP your ass, man. You already know who it is. It's your boy 16 to life. Resume normal program.